Hi, this is Jenna.
And this is Heather.
And this is Conspiracies Unlocked. And it is spooky season! So, since we are in the midst of spooky season, what better way to celebrate spooky season than with some human sacrifice?
Ooh, I'm intrigued.
We'll shed some blood on it. I'm so corny.
I love it.
I'm fun.
Just don't offer me candy corn.
Ew.
I hope you're not that corny.
Oh my god, it's getting worse, Heather.
I tried.
Okay, so we're not actually human sacrificing here, or like right now, but it is something that's been going on recently. Well, not just recently, for like ever, but that's the theory when it comes to adrenochrome. And there's a huge conspiracy about the rich, powerful elites, the movie stars, the music stars, all using children's blood to stay young. This blood is supposedly called adrenochrome. But what is adrenochrome? I am here to tell you exactly what it is. It is a scientific chemical compound that is found in the body, like in everybody's body. A Canadian scientist, Abram Hoffer and Humphrey F. Osmond, found this specific compound in 1952 and started studying it pretty rigorously until the 70s. Adrenochrome is like that fight or fight feeling that we get whenever we get scared or someone's trying to murder us. We're either gonna fight them back or we're gonna flight and we're gonna just leave the situation. Mm-hmm. It's like that scared jolt, jump, heartbeat feeling, and that feeling is your adrenaline. And what happens when your adrenaline starts going, that feeling oxidizes the adrenaline within your body, creating adrenochrome. Adrenochrome. Yeah. It was very easy to say it the first 30 times that I said it while researching, and then the more I said it, the more weird words came out. the more the weird stuff was happening in my mouth.
Yeah, I used to always say adrenochrome.
Me too.
But it's adrenochrome.
Yes.
Like adrenaline.
Yes. Because it's adrenaline. It's the
oxidized adrenaline.
Yes.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, so it's adrenochrome. And that's part of the problem is because I always said it as adrenochrome, and it's not, it's adrenochrome.
Yeah, I think a lot of people mispronunciation.
I looked it up to make sure that I was saying it the scientific-y way. Mm-hmm. So, in the 60s, there was a belief that adrenochrome oxidization within the blood was the cause for schizophrenia. Because they believed that there was so much...
too much
oxidization. Too much adrenochrome. There's too much in your body, and so it was toxins building up, mm-hmm. and it was causing schizophrenia in patients.
And have they now debunked that, or do they still believe that?
No, they debunked that because scientists would take these schizophrenic patients and give them a shit ton of niacin, vitamins, water, just whatever to flush out their system. Okay. And honestly, it's not too different than what some people think about vaccines now, about how the vaccines have metal in them, and the metal that the overbuildup of metal from the vaccines causes autism, mm-hmm. and other various things that people believe. I'm not saying that's true or anything. I'm just saying that it's the same thought process as what is going on now with vaccines.
And they also believe that it could cause ADD,
a lot of mental issues. Mm-hmm. And it's same with the GMOs in the food. People believe that the GMOs cause hyperactivity or
the different dyes in the food.
Yes, a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. So it's the same idea that they had with adrenochrome. I swear I could say it. I'm so embarrassed now that I can't say it anymore. So what's fun is that the scientists actually started to take adrenochrome in order to see, like, what would happen if they had too much.
Oh, they themselves took it?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So they were their own guinea pigs to see what would happen. And they hallucinated. So then it kind of became a hallucinogenic.
Oh, that's interesting.
And which would make sense when you think about it, why they would think that schizophrenic patients might have these issues, because they hallucinate, and if there's too much adrenochrome in their system, that could be why they're hallucinating.
That makes sense, because they have not only they have audio hallucinations and visual hallucinations.
Yes. And so to them, I mean, that's why it was a theory, and that's why they did their hypothesis.
That makes more sense.
And it's me, so I have to bring Disney into this. Mm-hmm. You know the movie Monsters, Inc.?
Yes.
Okay, you know how they would extract the screams from children to power Monstropolis?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they were taking the
adrenochrome?
Yeah, adrenochrome.
Adrenochrome.
Yes, Randall was putting Boo in that machine to extract the screams at a much higher rate, because instead of them just being able to get it from just in their room and scaring them in their room, they were scaring them in a more controlled setting where they were able to harness all the screams and like almost killing the child.
Wow, Disney's really like opening your eyes to like the truth of what's going on.
And that is why some people are against Disney.
That's one of the reasons.
As much as I would love to hate Disney, I can't. I love Disney. It's a bad thing for me. Seeing all this and putting it all together.
You can love aspects of Disney and you cannot love aspects of Disney.
Yeah.
I mean, just like with anything.
Mm-hmm. And so, if with that same theory about Monsters Incorporated, do you remember at the end of the movie, they found out that laughter is much more stronger and powerful than scariness?
I always thought that was like, well, love wins kind of thing.
I wonder if it's because the endorphins from laughter has more power and hallucinogenics than adrenochrome, than like the frightening.
Yeah. I wonder
chemicals.
if that's because when you laugh, you're like, and you're like breathing more oxygen, so maybe it gets more oxygen
to your brain, and then you like start feeling happy, and then I don't know. So it's very interesting that Disney seems to come up in every single.
It's like The Simpsons almost.
It could be just because I can tie it into every single Disney movie because I'm me.
No, but that's a good one with the Monster Inc.
That's as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh my god, they were extracting it from Boo. Mm-hmm. That was the whole reason for the machine.
Yeah.
So, going back to like the real science shit.
Wait, and then they always say, they always say they have to put it in plain sight what they're doing.
Yep.
And there you go.
That's the government karmic, universal cosmic law that you have to put everything in plain sight in order to do it. So, I don't know who made up the cosmic laws.
I don't know. That's
the galaxy laws. So, every alien and everybody has to like adhere to these laws.
Yes.
Right? That's silly. So, all right, going back to real science shit. Scientists are actually able to lab create the oxidation from adrenochrome. So, it's like, obviously, like, it's not the real thing, but it's a fun fact that they're able to like create it in the lab without actually extracting it from the screams of children.
Well, because that was going to be like my next like thought was, where are they getting this? Like, how are they testing it? Mm-hmm. Like, is there something sinister there? Like, are they getting people to volunteer to extract it? But then how would you extract it without like harming them?
We'll get into how they extract it, but all right, so I'll tell you about that. We'll get into that in a minute, but the chemical formula for adrenochrome is C9H9NO3. So it's carbon times 9, hydrogen times 9, and nitric oxide times 3. So it would be like, no. If you were to do the CH, like CH, no, CH, no, CH.
Oh my gosh, so they're like, no. Don't take my adrenochrome.
I was like, I spent like 5 minutes doing that in my living room while I was researching all this. My mind is funny. Okay, so when they take the adrenochrome from the body, there's a compound found in the adrenochrome called carbazochrome. While adrenochrome supposedly has like no real use, it's this compound carbazochrome that actually like causes the blood clots to causes blood clots and stops hemorrhaging. So if you are in that fearful fight or flight adrenaline, it clots up your blood because your body's like scared, like if it got shot or stabbed or hurt.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So,
like in a normal scenario.
Yeah, so there's a real use for this when you get scared.
Yeah.
So your body will do its job to protect you from bleeding out. It's not just for people to use it to stay young or hallucinate on.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, there's a natural...
That's the natural reason for us to have the oxidization after adrenaline.
Okay, so it's to help clot the blood.
Yes.
Okay.
And the chance that you are hemorrhaging out. Yes. Yeah. So there's also a theory that adrenochrome can be used as the hallucinogenic. In one scientific study, they compared it to LSD. Except adrenochrome does not heighten the ability to process basic things, and it does not reduce excitement, and you also do not lose temporary connections. So it seems that you are more like with it, like quote unquote with it, and than LSD. So LSD, you're like all over the place.
Oh, you're in La La Land, yeah.
Yeah, but here you're more like grounded, more connected, more. So that would make sense why the elites and people like that would use it as an upper,
they can still get that high, but it's not on that level
it's not on that, you're still aware, yes.
They're like somewhat coherent still.
Yes, and the effects can last days. And adrenochrome puts you in a forced schizophrenic type state, which is the reasoning why they thought that schizophrenia was caused by an overabundance of adrenochrome. However, I think that adrenochrome is caused by the schizophrenia and is not the causation of schizophrenia. Do you get what I'm saying? Because, I would imagine schizophrenic people are, like, in a constant state of fight or flight.
That would be so
I feel like they'd be constantly on edge and constantly have anxiety that would produce a belligerent amount of adrenochrome. And so it's not that the adrenochrome was causing the schizophrenia, but the schizophrenia was causing the adrenochrome, the overabundance.
I see what you're saying.
So there is a connection, but it's not...
It's the other way.
It's the other way around.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I feel like if you had schizophrenia, it would be very tiring, like to always be in that state of mind.
Yeah.
Like that you're always like fight or flight.
Yeah, for sure.
You never have just like a chill, you're always heightened.
Yeah, unless you're on the right medication or something.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like without the right medication. Yeah.
And so this is also probably why people who are on drugs are like crazy and act like they are out of their minds. It's literally because they're literally causing themselves to be out of their minds and act and have thoughts like a schizophrenic person. Mm-hmm. And it's just... Yeah. So while I'm talking about all this schizophrenic stuff, we are in no way saying it is okay or not okay to be schizophrenic or have mental health problems. If you or someone you know needs help with a mental problem like schizophrenia or substance abuse and are in the United States, please dial 211 for the closest service that can help or call 1-800-985-5990 for the National Substance Abuse and Mental Health Hotline or text Talk With Us to 66746 and they can help you with anything you need. So just,
definitely,
I was like talking about so much schizophrenia. I was like, maybe I should put in like a little disclaimer.
Yeah.
So back to the adrenochrome. So the celebrities that use it are supposedly Tom Cruise, Oprah Winfrey, Hillary Clinton, Jeff Bezos, any celebrity with money who does not look old as fuck. And that in actuality is old as fuck and should have wrinkles.
Probably Cher.
So,
have you seen Cher lately?
No, I
She looks phenomenal, okay?
So many people do. So, of course, we have to also realize that these people do have the money and can have daily Botox or whatever to make themselves perfect. Or they could be harvesting the adrenochrome from the adrenal glands of terrified children. Because it comes out of the adrenal glands.
Yeah.
Like a vampire. That's why vampires are staying young forever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. I tried to find
basically vampires.
Yes.
Like modern day vampires.
Yeah. I tried to find, I guess you can't really do a scientific study on vampires because vampires aren't, quote unquote, aren't real. But I did, so I was trying to research vampires and relate it with adrenochrome, but I couldn't find anything. So I was sad. I was very saddened by that.
But they're immortal, so maybe that's why they're immortal, because they drink so much blood. They just keep
drinking it. Mm-hmm. So they do this in order to not only stay young and beautiful, but also for its mind-enhancing properties. When you are in a fight or flight mode, your body creates this substance that you become much more aware of your situation, making your mind more sharp. If you could harness that side effect into a productive action, then it could help people tremendously. Mm-hmm. How else does Beyonce keep going and do all the things she does without dying from exhaustion or brain overload?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I think she's chilled out now, but she was like, when she was like Queen Bee, like up on the top, Queen Bey or whatever, up on the top, and 2008, 2009, 2000, you know.
I think people are still obsessed with Beyonce. Like, she's still like one of the ones.
Well, she is, but I feel like she's not out there as much as she was.
And I thought that her and her husband were like in the Illuminati or something.
I think they are too.
So that makes sense that they would be involved in this.
Yeah, maybe that. Yeah, well, I wrote this. So I came up with the Beyonce thing myself. I didn't read it anywhere.
It's making sense,
yeah.
though.
And then
I believe it.
Remember that movie Limitless with Bradley Cooper?
I love that movie.
Me too.
I've watched that movie so many times.
I wish that I could harness that little pill.
I want that pill so bad.
Yeah. So
I want a pill that makes me really smart.
So in that movie, for those that haven't seen it, he takes the medicine, this little pill, and it makes everything he's ever learned accessible to him. So it's like we only use 5% of our brain, but he's able to access like, I don't think he accesses all 100% of it, but he accesses like 20% more or something. It's like another percentage. So he's able to like remember every memory, everything that he's ever seen in his life, anything he's ever learned, it's just in his brain accessible like right away.
Yeah, he retains
everything.
Every single thing.
And I would imagine that's what the elites would be trying to do with this, is it's almost like a limitless pill, but in adrenochrome.
Adrenochrome.
We need to have it phonetically like written out right, like really big in front of me.
It's because we've heard it other way for so long and so many times that it's...
Yeah, because I say adrenochrome, no problem, but adrenochrome is how you say it.
Just think adrenaline.
It's not working though. So how do you get into the adrenal glands of terrified children? You steal the children and keep them for yourselves if you can get to it without killing them. Which leads into child trafficking.
It's really sad and really bad.
The reason we are hearing more and more about adrenochrome more than ever is because of that movie that came out, Sound of Freedom, and all the child trafficking rings that are being caught that just stemmed off of the heat from Epstein's Island. I never saw The Sound of Freedom. I couldn't do it.
I haven't watched it
I have
either.
like 3 little kids, and I don't think I could do it. But the truth is bound to come out of all these child trafficking, everything, and the question isn't if it will all come out, but when. When will the shit hit the fan? When will all this stuff be exposed?
When is the list going to come out from Epstein?
Yeah.
Probably never.
So,
I don't know.
So I have my own personal theory on this, and it doesn't say that if children die through the harvesting process, But you know that even if they try to keep them alive, they probably lose a kid or 10 along the way. And what if the reason the elites are covering up child trafficking and allowing the government and the political and all the people that we see that are okay with it, that have come out, not saying that they're okay with it, but have come out later and they are part of the trafficking ring. And for people to be okay with it is so fucking disgusting. But so I can't imagine that there's that many people that are that fucked up that are running the fucking country. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, it's really fucked up. So I think that they think that... I think that they can justify it in their head of stealing these children because they believe that they can get to the adrenal gland without killing the child. That is the only way that I can possibly make sense of it, because, like...
I don't believe that. I believe that they kidnap children, they traffic them for various reasons. Like, we already know why. Yeah. And then they take the adrenochrome in some cases. And
like, I'm obviously not justifying their actions whatsoever, and I think it's fucking disgusting.
It is. But I want to also say that
I can't imagine, like, who
there's another level to it. If they do kill those children, then they can sell organs and stuff. And we know that that's a thing. We know that there's
organ harvesting.
Harvesting organs and
stuff. Oh my gosh, so...
Or if they don't kill them, they just put them in the slave trade for whatever. You know, they'll send them off to another country or area.
I can't talk about this anymore. So,
it's really bad.
We will never do an episode on child trafficking or anything.
We kind of just did a little bit.
We touched on it, and this is as far as I can ever do this, because I think it's fucking so horrible and disgusting, and I can't even, like, thinking about my kids, and if it makes me want to vomit, cry, murder somebody.
But you know what? The good thing about it is that more and more people are waking up, and more people are starting to see that this is happening. So that means that they can help prevent it.
And it's happening a lot more than people realize.
And they can go on stings, and they can find these children, and they can rescue them. Hopefully, you know.
Yeah, and on a side note, another little disclaimer, children are being trafficked every day, and it's up to us, all of us, to stand up and do something. If you see something weird or off, do not be afraid to call 1-800-843-5678, aka 1-800-THE-LOST. You will never regret calling, and everything is fine. You'll only regret if you don't call and something was going on.
Yeah,
so
call no
with
matter
that,
what.
Always call. If you see something, say something, especially when it comes to the children of our future. Really anybody, but, you know, if you see anybody getting kidnapped, please call. But
especially if it's a child,
kids can't defend themselves, and they
may not even understand that what trafficking is.
Yeah, they wouldn't even know. Yeah, they might not even know that
they don't even know they're victims sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Like in the case with Steven Stainer, he was told he was kidnapped when he was 6 or 7, and he was told by his kidnapper that his family had too many kids and gave him to them.
So like he thought he was like adopted.
Yeah. Oh. But the dude was like raping him, doing all this fucked up shit, and then he ended up once Steven got to be like, and they renamed him too. But once Steven got to be like 14, he or 15, he was no longer like the kidnapper guy didn't want him anymore, but like kept him around, but didn't want him. So then, kidnapped another little boy that was like 9, named like Tommy White. I'm getting the name. I think his last name was White. And Steven Stainer felt so bad that he took him to the police station and said, "Hey, here's this kid. I'm gonna go now, bye." And the police were like, "Whoa, wait a minute.
But who are you?"
Yeah, and then finally Steven went back to his family when he was like 14 or 15, but he was going to school under a different name.
He was like, wouldn't know.
Yeah, he was groomed at that point. He was just told like, "Oh, sorry." So like, the children is just really sad. So, okay, moving on. I can't talk about this anymore.
Well, last thing I want to say is about the children not knowing that they're victims of any kind of trafficking or anything bad like that. I've actually heard of stories where children are there'll be a girl, and she is a trafficked girl, and she gets pregnant and has a baby. That baby doesn't have a birth certificate, a social security number, nothing. So the traffickers can do whatever they want with that baby. They can sell it. They can take it away from her. Yeah. They can do whatever. And she has no control of anything. She doesn't even have control of herself. She's technically at mercy of these psychotic criminals. Yes. Like disgusting... Kidnappers. I don't even know. Kidnapper, yeah.
It's like that baby doesn't even exist.
Yeah, the baby... And that happens all the time.
That's, oh my god. Okay.
I know, so it's really sad.
Moving forward, adrenochrome has also been in various books and media. The most famous one is obviously the 1971 Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas by Hunter S. Thompson, and he depicts the characters indulging in adrenochrome as a hallucinogenic. While Fear and Loathing is the most famous depiction, mainly because of the movie with Johnny Depp in 1999, in the newer movie... that like I said, I don't have the guts or stomach to see. They say that they mention it in Sound of Freedom, which is about child trafficking, and I guess that movie tells the reason for child trafficking is to get to the adrenochrome.
Oh, okay. I didn't watch that movie.
I didn't watch it either. So I'm not sure, but that's what I read about. Mm-hmm. And adrenochrome is not new. It's been in literature, and it goes back so much further. In 1959, William S. Burroughs wrote a novel called Naked Lunch, where adrenochrome was mentioned as a drug and hallucinogenic taken on the way to hell.
Oh, wow.
And then in 1962, Anthony Burgess wrote a novel called A Clockwork Orange.
Oh, Clockwork Orange?
Yeah, it's a really famous dystopian novel, I guess.
It's a movie, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the movie's really trippy.
Well, it partially attributes adrenochrome as the cause of society failing, like the fall of society.
Yeah, Clockwork Orange is a trippy movie.
And then, in 1954, an autobiography book written by Aldous Huxley called The Doors of Perception explains how he was taking mescaline, which has the same effects as adrenochrome, in order to see what would happen, and he in fact did hallucinate. And P.S. fun fact, mescaline, that's just a fancy word for peyote.
Yeah.
Which is the alkaloid in the peyote cactus.
So, a few years back, one of the people I used to take care of, the seniors, he was growing peyote in his backyard.
Oh my gosh.
And in San Diego County, and he used to always say, I used to dabble in peyote. And then he had it in the backyard growing.
Oh my god. Like, you don't hear about that anymore. That's like super illegal, I guess.
He had it.
I wouldn't even know how to get it. You'd have to grow it.
He grew it.
Yeah. So, in 1974, the start of a trilogy novel came out called the Illuminatus trilogy, written by Robert Anton Wilson, Robert Shea, and Ken Campbell. And the book goes into the fictional detail about how the secret societies and Illuminati are taking it, and it is only known as like this mysterious and powerful drug, but it's mentioned in like all three books. So there is it's been around, the talk of it, like it's a real thing. Like, that's not a conspiracy. The conspiracy is simply that people are using it now to stay young and
the
elites. Yeah. So what makes this all even more creepy is something called blood libel. This is a conspiracy that Jewish people would use Christian children as sacrifices, especially around Passover.
But why Christian?
Because I would imagine it is because... So the difference between Jew and Christian, Jewish people don't believe Jesus already came, so they don't have the New Testament, they only have the Old Testament. Mm-hmm. So I would imagine it is because Christians to them have no moral standing, so they should be sacrificed. Mm-hmm. And this in 1144 in Norwich, Jews were charged with a ritual murder of a little boy named William.
Wait, who was?
A little boy named William, and this was in 1144 in Norwich. So it really did happen. They really were. So it's not really a conspiracy, but
that's what they used to do.
maybe like the conspiracy is just the amount of it.
Still doing it?
No, just the amount of it. I don't think they're still doing it. At the end of the day, they say if someone wants to indulge in hallucination effects from adrenochrome, there's plenty of the synthetic stuff out there. So there's no reason to get it through human sacrifice. But alas, is this just a cover? Is the good stuff only in the bloodstream of a scared child? Is the synthetic stuff just a knockoff and the elites are in fact trafficking, stealing, buying, and sacrificing children just to get a bit of that high, to live a little longer? Essentially tap into that immorality that everyone has looked for years? Have they found the bloody fountain of youth? Either way, if people are really doing this, they need to be hung by their tits. And I'm hoping that all of this is just a conspiracy. But there you have it. Adrenochrome unlocked. Yeah, what do you think?
I think that it's not a conspiracy, that this is really happening to children still by the elites. I believe that it is definitely happening. And I also believe, because everyone who watches this podcast knows that I am like an alien believer, or whatever you want to call it, that the reptilians are consuming humans as sacrifice also. Like
which
we, the elite or whoever, and these people also that have been trafficked, you know, even probably adults, not just children. I'm just saying humans in general are being basically fed to the reptilians as like an offering. Like, otherwise they would probably just I'm trying to think. I don't know. When we did the reptilians, but we didn't do the reptilians, we did another episode, and it was about this mall. There was a mall in another country, I think it was in Russia maybe, that they built this mall in order for the reptilians underground to have access to the people through the dressing room of one of the stores. So when the people go in the dressing room, they'd never come out again. That's creepy.
Yeah. Do you remember that episode? I'm
trying to remember which one it was.
I know, because you did reptilians. I didn't do the reptilians, right? Reptilians.
No, you did reptilians.
Oh, well, then it was a reptilian episode.
I didn't do reptilians.
I thought you did. Okay, well then, yeah, it was the reptilian episode.
Yeah.
So let me do my references really quickly. Are you ready? Ta-dam. Website European Molecular Biology Laboratory, ebi.ac.uk, extracted 10/9/2023. National Library of Medicine article, Hallucinogens as Hard Science by the Adrenochrome Hypothesis for the Biogenesis of Schizophrenia by John A. Mills on May 13th, 2010. ScienceDirect.com article, The Effect of Adrenochrome and Adrenolutin on the Behavior of Animals and the Psychology of a Man by A. Hoffer, available online as of April 10th, 2008. Forbes.com article, The Adrenochrome Conspiracy Theory Pushed by Sound of Freedom Star Explained by Connor Murray on July 15th, 2023. MCGILL.ca article, QAnon's Adrenochrome
quackery.
Yeah.
QAnon? Oh,
QAnon's
God. People are going to hate that that's one of your sources.
I have to get my info from somewhere. I have to piece it all together.
No, you got both sides of it.
I got all of it,
you got both sides.
QAnon's Adrenochrome Quackery by Joe Schwartz on February 10th, 2022. Encyclopedia, U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum, article, Blood Libels Throughout History, retrieved 10/9/23.
Ooh, the Holocaust Museum is the one that had the one about the kid that was murdered? Wow.
About the blood libels. Yeah. So, I just kind of I did it everywhere. So,
No, it's just funny because
I know it's QAnon
is the one that everybody is always, talking shit on.
Yeah. So, those are my resources. That's the
Get a little bit from everywhere.
Yeah. And that's our episode for today. So, stay safe out there. Keep your adrenal glands to yourselves. Don't let anybody have access to them.
Start wearing turtlenecks.
And
I have the right shirt on for this episode.
I almost wore a turtleneck today too. That would have been so funny.
We're
all like this for this episode. Okay. Well, don't forget to
share, like, and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching our live.
And listening wherever you listen to your podcasts. And email us if you have any comments, feedback,
phenomenal fan experiences.
Or that at conspiraciesunlocked@gmail.com. And have a good rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.